So I went to college, and like all my friends, I was a broke college student, and it felt like the little money that I did have, it all went straight into food. So if you feel like that, you're in the right place. So that forced me to actually get 2 jobs and to start 2 businesses while I was in college. Now, some things actually went well for me, which made me save my first $10,000 within 6 months. And then some things went very well, where I was actually able to build up a business to $8,000 a month. And obviously, some things went terrible. In this video, I'm gonna give you the 7 things that worked, not the 7 worst things, because I want you guys to avoid those things at all costs. So let's get right into this video. Number 1 is a lending business. This is not legal advice. A lending business is all about grabbing your money that you have, that you saved up, lending it to somebody else in exchange for collateral or in exchange for interest. And sometimes you could actually do both. Now, the big problem is this is a great way to ruin family relationships, friendships, or romantic relationships. If you want to see a relationship be forced, lend that person money and you will see how it will change. So I highly recommend you do this with people that you don't have personal relationships with. That is my advice. So what would be my approach here? Well, number 1 is find people that can't qualify for normal loans because they don't have, for example, a credit score, or they don't want to deal with banks or whatever it is, okay? And you basically lend them money in exchange for collateral. Collateral is basically, well, I'll give you an example. I once lent a friend, I told you, it ruins friendships. I lent a friend some money. In exchange, he gave me his camera. If he paid me back, everything was fine. If he did not pay me back, I would keep the camera. I ended up keeping the camera, and with that, I started this YouTube channel. Our relationship was never the same. Number 2 is find people that actually need some money, and you lend to them at the legal interest rate in your state, and that way you can make a decent amount of money. Now, great question. How do I guarantee that these people are going to pay me? The answer is you have them sign a promissory note. You can look that up online, and if you want a more intense video on the whole topic, I have a full video. I'm gonna link it down below. Number 2, flipping on eBay. I did this and I made a lot of money. I got very lucky one day and I bought a snow globe for $2 and I sold it for $75. That was just crazy, but that involves a lot of luck. And this video is not about luck. Although sometimes you'll get lucky, but I don't want to rely on luck. The problem with eBay is you're going to be charged fees when you list an item and also when you sell an item. But the worst problem is, well, whenever you sell something, you're going to have to ship it. And if you don't get organized, you're going to spend a ton of time in a post office. So I recommend you find out how to ship things efficiently. Now, what would be my approach to sell on eBay? Number 1 is I would focus on trying to go to businesses that are bankrupt or losing everything and buying things at a steep discount. So if I find a business is going bankrupt, I go there, I buy their stuff at a discount, and I sell it on eBay. Number 2, I will go to estate sales. Estate sales is when somebody passes away and now all their stuff is for sale. And in those locations, you can usually find a lot of stuff for a good price. Number 3, you could actually also go to Goodwill and get clothes and find your items and go ahead and sell those also. Now, I want to pause here because listening to myself, it kind of sounds scummy, right? Because you're lending money to people and you're also buying things from people that passed away or buying things from businesses that are going bankrupt. Don't look at it that way. If you're not trying to be nefarious and take advantage of people, well, that's not what you're doing. That's not where your heart is. You can do this ethically and help someone by giving them money and also help someone get rid of their stuff because, hey, if they don't sell it, it's just going to go to waste. I just wanted to clarify that. Number 3 is return pallet flipping. What is a return pallet? Well, these are big pallets of returned items from Amazon, Costco, and Walmart. Whenever you return an item to these places, they don't resell it to customers. They basically just liquidate it. And you can actually buy these pallets yourself. The problem is, well, you're going to be buying things in bulk. So you need some money to bid on these items. 2, you're going to have a place or going to need a place to actually store all this stuff. And then 3, you're also going to have to get organized or else you're just going to lose track of everything you have. Now, what would be my approach here? Well, I would copy a person that I've seen do this myself because I was his customer. And what he did was, one, he bought cheap and sold cheap. He wasn't trying to make a massive profit. Thus, he had a lot of customers and he always sold items and they would barely last. Two, he got very organized. He had an app to track inventory and that was also free. And third, well, he only focused on Costco items, thus becoming an expert with Costco items. His whole idea was basically that Costco customers return things in better states, while Amazon and Walmart and so on, customers tend to return some things that, well, they're not really in good working order sometimes, okay? My advice is also, well, you're gonna have a list of inventory whenever you're buying these pallets. You could actually sell this off to all of your customers. You could use Facebook, just like the guy did, and they could actually buy the items before they arrive, so you already have customers waiting for the items, which is actually a good idea. I actually like that a lot. Number 4, a print-on-demand business. This business doesn't require any inventory and it doesn't require you to ship anything, which is actually awesome. And all that happens is basically the third party does everything for you. So they can print whatever you want on a t-shirt, on a cup, on a hat, or even on a poster. So what's the big problem here? Well, you have to find customers because you have to find someone that you want to sell this to at a profit and they actually want it. So my approach would be this. One, I would work on a brand. A person I saw online, he focused on having a Christian niche. Basically, he sold things to Christian people, t-shirts, hats, and so on. That way he had like a whole customer base specific and he knew exactly who to advertise to. Two, I saw someone else focused on specific seasons and holidays. So he sold mugs and hats and so on. And he sold them, for example, on Mother's Day, Father's Day. So he had those special events that garner a lot of eyes and he was able to sell a good chunk. Now, my personal favorite is 3. Well, what you would actually do is sell motivational painting. Yeah, like artwork. So back there, what do I have? Artwork. Thinking about this video and doing all my research, I found out I also did the exact same thing. I bought that artwork from a print-on-demand business. They sent me that thing, but they didn't actually do anything. Somebody else did all the work. And I actually bought those for like a good amount of money. You can sell these things on eBay, on Etsy, or however you actually want to. Number 5 is phone flipping. I did this and had good success with it. And it's just buying phones for a discount and selling them for a profit. And the big problem with this is basically whenever you're trying to offer someone that bought a phone for $1,000, $200 for their phone because it's just worth less now, they get upset. And you might as well just offer them $2 because that's how upset they get. So you have to get good at knowing you're going to face a lot of rejection. 2, also know it's going to take some time to find some good deals out there. You're going to have to go pick up the phone, meet with people, and you have to be careful because there's always a risk of you getting robbed. And that's why I only met with people during the day and also in public places. My favorite spot was probably the Apple store itself or even Starbucks. Now, my approach would be this. I would do 2 things consistently and I would avoid one. One, make sure you avoid trying to buy the newest and latest phones. You can't usually buy those for a discount. If you are, you might be getting scammed. Be very careful with that. But one, I would try to focus on the last generation phones when the new ones are about to come up because they're gonna be flooded in the market and you can buy them at a good discount and then resell them at a good profit. You won't be making a ton of money on those, by the way, but the most money, believe it or not, is made on decent phones. Like I bought an iPhone 11 for like, I think it was like $60 and I was able to trade it in for something worth about $150. That's basically double my money right there. And you can find a lot of those deals. And again, remember, buy cheap, sell cheap. That way you're going to be done and out with those items. Where do you sell? Facebook, eBay. And by the way, big money, more opportunity if you actually learn to fix phones like the screens, like the batteries, but I recommend you learn on cheap phones, okay? That don't cost that much money. I've broken some screens that cost over $150, and that basically eats up all your profit. Number 6, flipping cars. This is a way to make a good amount of money, but obviously you're going to need a decent amount of capital, at least like $500 to $1,000. Yes, there are cars you can actually buy for that much money. If you have $5,000, well, even better. But I recommend you don't buy a car that's worth $5,000 because you just might. Big problem here is you might buy a lemon. A lemon is a car that has massive problems and you're just lost your money. Two, you might be stuck with this car for a while and you might not be able to get your money as fast as you possibly thought. And also, you might pay too much for money. And then the profit you thought you were going to make, you might just break even. So what would be my approach to doing this business? One, buy cars for cheap, less than they're worth. They're going to take some time for you to find these deals, but they're out there. Two, make sure I get the cars inspected before I buy them, even though it's just one extra step and will eat into your margins. But it's better to buy a car you know is good than to find out later the car has a massive problem. And then three, buy cars with cosmetic issues. It needs like a washing. It needs like some new mats. It needs things that you basically can fix yourself without a mechanic for the most part. And then that way you're able to fix and correct those things. And before you know it, you're making a good amount of money. An idea that I just got is also upgrading cars. So having a backup camera on them or even introducing CarPlay on it. And you can buy these things for a discount and then basically sell these cars for more money. Where do you sell them? You can sell them also on Facebook Marketplace or even Craigslist. But be careful again to not get robbed. I feel like I'm scaring you guys, but I just generally want you to be careful. Take all the extra steps, even though you might look paranoid, okay? It's always better to be safer. Number 7 is a dog whisperer. I'm just kidding, okay? It's not that. It's actually a real estate agent. And I put it back here because it takes a lot of patience. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I know you have that. Now, how the heck is this a side hustle if it takes a license? The answer is it's not that hard to become a real estate agent. The big problem is you're going to face a lot of doubts. If you're basically 18 to 25, everyone's going to tell you you don't have experience, you're too young, and no one is going to trust you. So my approach would be this. First, prove people wrong by learning as much as possible when it comes to real estate and properties and everything, especially with sales, okay? And that way you have a lot of knowledge and that shows, okay? Two is focus on people you already know. Sometimes a lot of uncles and friends and moms and dads, they will give you a chance to either find them a rental or buy them or sell their house if they're into it. Don't coerce people to do those things. Don't use your relationship to kind of deviate them into a bad path. Don't do that, obviously. But 3 is go ahead and work on investing for the future. So yeah, maybe you won't be able to sell a bunch of houses or buy a bunch of houses, but you could give a lot of people the chance to find some good rentals. And those same people that actually rent from you, well, they're gonna have an experience with you. And then later on in the future, you could actually sell them a house, okay? And so on, okay? So it's a way to invest in the future, but it's definitely possible to be a real estate agent while you're in college because the times are so flexible and people usually go look for houses and look for rentals, well, after work. And after work, you're probably done with college also. But this one does take patience and you have to build up to it. And if you're wondering, Tommy, which one is your favorite? The answer is number 5, flipping phones will always be one of my favorites. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite, and also what have you done, or if you have any ideas, comment them down below so other people could actually see it, and maybe I might make a video on that idea also. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you guys later. Peace. Long-term team out.